I think we're live. Hopefully we are. I don't know if I need to lift this more. Probably. It seems a little low. So there we go. It should be. I don't know. I always feel like it's like not centered, but I think it is. But welcome everyone. You guys should be receiving the notification here. Let me look at my dash, make sure that everything is good. Can you guys hear me? Yep, I can hear myself off my iPad mini. We do have some early birds. We have Mr. Slow DRV dropping my thumbs up. Hope you have a great week. I'll be catching the playback. Thank you, Slow DRV. So shout out once you see the playback. Thank you for that like. You know it's always appreciated. Now, I'm not sure how many people just joined right now. Last time I checked, the like counter was at 15. So Slow DRV, you helped contribute to that 15, and I very much appreciate it. We're already at 29. Damn, is that a glitch? I don't know. But welcome, everyone. Welcome. It's nice to be back on stream. I'm telling you, life has been lifing. Thankfully, though, through all that lifing, I was able to release my iPad battery drain test. I know, long time coming for that video. I think sometimes what it is, do you guys ever experience this? So, obviously, I do a lot of things. I'm not a full-time YouTuber. But, like, have you ever, like, it's almost like working out or, like, trying to get rid of, like, I don't know, soda drinking. It just takes that first step, right? So, a lot of the times when it comes to being a YouTuber, since I do all of the back-end stuff, sometimes the author's block or, like, the whatever it's called is very real. So, like, I'm never, ever going to sell out and make my scripts go the AI route because then they sound very monotone and very robotic and they just don't sound like me, right? I have a very certain style that I bring to my videos, and I have a very, very characteristic persona on my YouTube channel. So, like, that's why it takes a long time to just sit down, find the time to have a quiet place, and just finally script. But that video was a long time in the coming, and it was dedicated to my late grandfather. So it was interesting because I was this far away from finishing. I was like 20% away from finishing the editing. And then I received the news from my grandfather, and obviously that just kind of shuts you down in terms of your mentality on whatever you were doing. So, yeah, that kind of had to be placed on hold for like 2 or 3 days, but it finally released. And thanks to all of you guys, that video over the weekend, mind you, it was just one weekend. It already has 13,000 views. So thank you all to whoever watched that video. If you haven't already, it is probably being recommended to you soon, especially if you're going to join this live stream. So that iPad battery drain test, I'm not going to lie, it was not a nail biter. As a matter of fact, it was clear dominance. Now, I don't want to spoil it with how much longer, all this and that, but it wasn't even close. There was 2 competitors that were miles ahead, and as a matter of fact, I was surprised by first place. I thought that first and second place were going to flip-flop, but actually, first place just, man, it was insane. So again, if you haven't watched the battery drain test, it should be down below. Now, coming up, guys, we have a lot of stuff that's coming up real soon in terms of not only my channel, but also tech in general. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is the iPhone launch. So over at my job, for many of you guys that don't know yet, I'm sure most of you guys watching already know, but I do work at a telecom store in sales. So that just is the best role for me just because I am in control of how much money I can make. Anyway, with the iPhone launch, this month has started off extremely slow, and it's to be expected because, I mean, anyone who has the fondest kind of idea of tech understands. I don't know how people don't yet. It doesn't click to people that iPhones release an iPhone every year. Like, do people live under a rock? Especially with how popular iPhones are here in America. Sometimes I'll get a customer and I'll be like, oh my God, they're releasing another one? Like, yeah, they've been releasing one every year for like the past 20 plus years, man. Where you been? Like, every year it's on schedule. Every year. There has not been a single year that Apple did not skip an iPhone release. So anyway, we're finally going to have the iPhone 16 is presumably what it's going to be called. We never know, right? Apple can always surprise us, but it's going to be a lackluster upgrade from the 15 to the 16. So I'm going to catch up a little bit with you guys on the live chat. I don't want to disregard the chat for too long because then I have a tough time catching up. So we do also have Fatima, and she was early. Fatima says, those who live in our memories are never truly gone. Referring to, I believe, the passing of my grandfather. Fatima, thank you so much for your kind and generous words. You are absolutely right. My grandfather, it's like I was thinking on the drive home from the gym, like my grandfather embodied very much like the very stereotypical kind of like, if you imagine like an abuelo in like Coco, right? So instead of the abuela, imagine the abuelo, right? Just always laughing, like he's always playing jokes on you, like he's always sarcastic, and just, just the embodiment of like a grandfather, right? And so obviously my father lived in Mexico, so he also, he always wore the sombrero. He was always really dapper, always wore like his button-up shirts and jeans and his belt. So just basically embodied like the whole cowboy vibe. Kind of reminds me of like Texas culture in a way. So anyway, I mean, we're not northern Mexico, we're more like central Mexican. But yeah, rest in peace to my amazing grandfather. He was always, I have great memories with him. I visited him in Mexico like 4 or 5 times throughout my life. And, like even though I didn't get to spend that many memories, the ones that I did get to spend with him were truly amazing, and I will take those to the grave. May my grandfather rest in peace. I know that he is up in heaven, no longer suffering. So thank you to everyone who has been there, being very supportive. I also do realize that my light is casting a slight shadow, so I'll try and move this because the shadow is starting to make me mad. Stormy Day saying hi with how many eyes? 1, 2, is that 5? I think it is. Hello, Stormy Day. Kayla with the yes, thank you. Alex Yeager, we hear you. The Jägermeister, thank you for letting me know. Stormy Day, hi from my Google Pixel 6a. Nice. From a 6a, dude. At my store, dude, the Google and no button. Okay, let me put it this way. The iPhone launch, everyone knows about it. Everyone. With the Samsung phones, it's split into 2 releases. So, like, as of lately, it has been the foldable phones, which just got released. Barely any fanfare. I think I saw an article earlier. Now, I didn't do my due diligence and follow the source, but it seemed credible. And it said that 1.2% of all smartphone users are part of the like phablet, or not phablet, but foldable phone market. 1.2%. Now, mind you, think of every single friend or acquaintance or coworker, whatever. Think of 100 people that you have encountered before in your life who own a cell phone, right? 100 of them. Statistically, according to that report, one out of the 100 will own a foldable phone. And if you think about it, foldable phones have been out now for like, 5 or 6 years? So for 1.2% of the market to be penetrated by foldable phones, is that a what, that's what she said joke? Did I just misword that? Anyway, it's pretty crazy. So anyway, my point with that is that the foldable phones barely get any fanfare. The Galaxy phones, though, I mean, I myself own an S24 Ultra, and the Galaxy phones, they obviously don't get as much fanfare as the Apple release, but it still gets pretty good reception from people, especially at my store this past March, March, April is when the Galaxies get refreshed. Yeah, it was a pretty big crowd. We also had an incentive to sell Samsung phones, which was nice. So yeah, and then the Google phones, and those, dude, it's crickets. Obviously I've play tested with Google phones before on my channel. Don't get me wrong, they're nice, but I don't know. There's just something about them. Like, there's something about Google phones that I have never really liked. I don't know what it is. I really don't. That's just my opinion, but that's awesome, Stormy Day, that you're watching from your Google Pixel 6a. Fatima says, I wanted to reach out and express my deepest condolence for the loss of your grandpa. I can only imagine how difficult this time must be for you and your family. Though words may feel inadequate, please know that your grief is shared by those who care about you. Your grandpa was such a remarkable person, and his spirit touched the lives of many. Aw, Fatima, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time not only to type that, but for, genuinely sending out a sincere condolence. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. If anything, my mom and stepfather, they came back home today. So if I recall correctly, my grandfather passed away Wednesday morning, this past Wednesday. and I want to say that they buried him on Friday. So it's interesting with the different cultures, right? So in Mexico, it's an open casket at that person's home or the family's home, right? And like for a lot of cultures outside of maybe like Mexico, like to a lot of Americans, that might seem weird. Like, you know, like, what do you mean you have a dead body at the house? But like, it's not. Like, it's very much about the culture. And if anything, it's more like of a closer gathering, because not only is it like, you know, you don't have to pay a fortune to like a funeral home. Like, obviously, like, you're going to get the casket and everything, but the middleman is kind of cut out, right? And then you and your family go to the local cemetery. I'm not sure who you have to ask for permission or whatever. I don't know how that works exactly. But our cemeteries in Mexico are gorgeous. So you basically buy a plot of land there in the cemetery space, and they're beautiful. I'm telling you, the tombstones there are absolutely gorgeous. They are more like little tiny huts, if you will, miniature-sized huts, though. And you can decorate them however you want. So like where my dad is buried here in Gainesville, Georgia, it's, you know, it's your basic tombstone, and then they allow you their little flower pot that they offer, right? So like it's kind of silly and redundant how, like, I mean, when my dad first passed, you could bring him 3 dozen roses, 3 dozen flowers or whatever, put them there, and within 2 days they come and pick them up. Like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's way different. It's a big difference in culture, but over there you leave your flowers, you can bring them whatever you want, and it's just this huge commemoration of life. So anyway, yeah, my grandfather passed away on Wednesday. They buried him on Friday, and my lovely mother and my stepfather as well just arrived yesterday. So needless to say, her mood is not the best. Of course, obviously this is her father. But what I am thankful for is that he did live a very, very long, healthy life. He, in his life, he reached 95. And so, like, I was doing the math, and I'm like, wow, my grandfather was born in 1929. This was, like, during the roaring 20s, you could say. Like, this was during the stock market crash of 1929. So, like, he was born on that year. Really crazy to see. So he wasn't alive for World War I. He barely missed that by like 10 years, but he was alive during World War II and all of the Reagan era, if you will, wars around that time. So like the Vietnam War, the Korean War, like he saw it all, dude. That's kind of crazy to think about. No, but I really do appreciate everyone for y'all's condolences, especially Fatima for your kind words. Stormy Day, great for the iPad battery drain test. Now make Amazon Kindle versus Apple Magic Keyboard. That's a good one right there, though. I feel like maybe a niche amount of people will find that video interesting. I remember the stories you shared about him, his laughter, his wisdom, and the way he made everyone feel special. Those memories will surely live on in your heart and the hearts of everyone who knew him. In moments like these, it's important to lean into the support of friends and family. Grief can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to go through it alone. Thank you. Yes. Fatima, again, I'm very appreciative for you being so supportive about these kinds of things, because I mean, like, I know that every one of us is here. Like, if there's one thing that's promised, is that one day we're gonna go, right? Which is why, like, I just always try to be as good of a person as I can be, because you never know what people are carrying around in their heart, right? Like, obviously, you know, I have to put on a mask. I have to, like, show up to work. You know, I want to continue working on my YouTube channel, go to the gym, all this and that. So I have to more or less put on a mask, but it is saddening, especially when it's a close family member that passes away. Now, if I'm, and this is very, very, like, loose, right? But if I want to, in quote unquote, say something that I'm happy about, and that is that my grandfather, I mean, he died of old age, you know, so it's not like it was a rampant disease that, like, caused him, like, all of this pain, or, like, it wasn't like my father's death that was snapped away from us within 48 hours. So my grandmother as well, my grandmother passed away, his wife, right? So my grandfather, who just passed away, his wife, aka my mom's mom, she passed away, but when I was like, maybe, I want to say I was like 11 or 12, maybe. I was really young. And so, like, when you're that young, I mean, I don't want to say you don't care. It's not that you don't care. It's, number one, you're a kid, but also, like, as a kid, you don't fully, it doesn't really resonate. It doesn't, like, you don't the idea of death is, like, very not there. Like, it's not encapsulated in a little child's brain that like, hey, like this actually happens, like people die. And it's because you're so small, you think you're invincible, right? And why do you think armies send like young people to die? Because they think that that's, their time is gonna, you know their time is infinite, when really it's not. And so that's why the death of my father and my grandfather, the two closest in my life so far, have been very, very drastically different. So like for my grandfather, it was very much like a celebration of life. It was like, hey, we're prepared for this. He was a fantastic father, a fantastic grandfather. So like a very hard worker. And so it was very much a celebration of life for him. We understood that, he was 95, the chances of him kind of, so like he stopped eating after a while. And so that's how life works, man. We're all going to reach that age, right? However, what was very much a stark difference was like when my dad passed away, I was 21. And that was like a bucket of cold water. I specifically remember not being able to cry for like 72 hours. And I wanted to. Like, I wanted to so bad. But I guess just my psyche, my nervous system was in just such shock and more than anything, disbelief. Because I was like, how can you tell me that 48 hours ago, me and my dad were at Walmart, like getting some rotisserie chicken for our family? Like, what in the world is happening right now? And yeah, it wasn't until like 72 hours later that I just let it all out in my room. I remember, I was in my downstairs room, which used to be my room, and then just letting it all out. And I mean, they were agonizing screams, you know what I mean? But now looking back, it's like, that's interesting because when someone that close to you just snatched away like that, dude, I could not believe that. Like for nearly 3 days straight, it was just kind of like I was stricken, like I was like it was one of the weirdest feelings ever. Just felt so empty and hollow for those 3 days until I could finally let it out. And I think at that point it was kind of like, I mean, everyone has heard about the stages of grief. So I guess at that point I was starting to accept like, okay, this happened, So anyway, let's try to talk about something a little bit more lively. All of this talk about death is a little saddening, but it's important to talk about, right? Bad Dobani, did I say that right? Bad Dobani, I love that username. So Mr. Dobani says, still sorry to hear about your loss, but on a lighter note, the 15 was trash in my eyes. Thank you, that's what I needed. So we needed that little pivot. Yeah, the 15. So again, I mean, I'm selling these phones every day, right? And I'm gonna be very honest with people. As a matter of fact, what I told my manager Jaeger, he watches the chats. I'm just gonna review them, and I need to be quick, right? So almost as soon as I can get them, I might even get like a day off just to film everything, because that will help me in my sales. Because just imagine, I have my iPad off to a corner. Let's say there's someone wanting to upgrade from like a 15. I'll be like, I got the video for you, and this is me. Put it on the table, and then there we go. But yeah, okay, so let's start with the different features that are expected on the new iPhone 16. So I know that you guys definitely come for all the juicy details when it comes to all of this tech. Next live stream, we're going to talk about the Apple Watch and what's expected, because guys, remember, we're about a month away from the announcement. So typically Apple announces the event around like September 4th, 5th, or 6th, right? Somewhere around there. The event is normally a week after the invitations get sent out. So think September, 12th, 13th, which is my birthday, 14th or 15th. And then the iPhones officially launch either a week or 2 weeks after. It just depends on, if Apple's being Apple or not. But in terms of the regular 16, it's looking really, really lackluster. So let me pull them up right now. That way we can see what we can expect, especially for some of you guys that are wanting to upgrade. Maybe you have a 14, maybe you have a 15, and you're trying to decide if it's right for you. What I will say is when the iPhone 16 drops, and if you're coming from a 13, a 12, or actually just those two, a 13 or a 12, that is a pretty solid upgrade. I'd give that upgrade an 8 out of 10. Like, that's really good, right? While you could still hold on to your 13 for like another year, think about your battery degradation as well. So like as newer software is being released, and as your battery is literally aging, it's just going to be more worse off for you. You're going to start to see that your battery is just starting to deplete a lot sooner. If you're coming from an 11 or sooner, 10 out of 10 upgrade. You're going to notice ginormous gains in terms of battery. You're going to notice enormous gains in terms of performance. The camera is going to be miles ahead, right? So that would just be my recommendation, and I'm going to state that whenever I make any kind of iPhone 16 to 15 comparison. But yeah, it's going to be pretty lackluster. Where you're going to want to look at is the Pro models. But here, real quick, let's look at the rumors, right? So for the regular iPhone 16, you're going to get a vertical camera layout. So they're changing it from the diagonal setup now to the vertical one, which is what we had before. And I'm talking just about the regular line, right? So I'm talking 16 and 16 plus, no Pro models, right? And so according to the rumors, it says that the base models will feature a vertical camera arrangement with a pill-shaped raised surface instead of a diagonal camera like the 15. The new camera bump features 2 separate camera rings for the wide and ultra-wide cameras. The vertical camera layout is expected to enable spatial video recording, which is currently limited to the iPhone 15 Pro models. So for any videographers there, that's going to be really good. Okay. Now we move on to battery, right? So this goes for all iPhone 16 models. The rumors suggest that across the board, the physical battery size is going to be increased, right? So estimates already are floating around, which is going to be also really good for me to make a battery drain test on this, because Apple's expecting to make a 5% increase to battery across the board, right? So obviously, if you know a little bit about math, that means that the Pro Max models, because they have the biggest battery, they stand the most to gain out of that 5%. And it's very simple to think about. I mean, if you have $1,000 and if you have $100, 5% of $1,000 is $50. 5% of $100 is $5. So in terms of raw value that we're trying to weigh out here, the dollar amount is bigger for the 1,000, right? Likewise here. So because that bigger battery represents a bigger percentage, the Pro models should, at least in theory, give you maybe another hour or 2 or 3 of juice. It just depends. So be looking forward to battery. So if you're someone that is just constantly on your phone, even as a Pro Max user, and let's just assume that you start your average regular day at like 7:30 a.m. I feel like that's pretty average for like most people. Let's just say you wake up at 7:30. And let's just say you're a Pro Max user. And by the end of the night, let's say bedtime for you is 10:30 or 11. And let's say you're at 20% by the end of the night and you consider yourself a heavy user, then this will be good for you, because then that means that more than likely by the end of the night, given those same factors, that same scenario, you might be at like 33% by the end of the night. So instead of being closer to a 5th battery, you might be closer to a 3rd battery. So 33%-ish versus 20%, I call that a pretty good dub. All right. Now, all the new iPhone 16 models will also feature something called a capture button. Now, this one is interesting. The capture button is going to be very similar to the action button found on the Apple Watch Ultra. So for those that don't have an Ultra, the action button, basically, you can configure it to whatever you want. Well, not whatever, but it's, you have different options, right? Right now, I have it set to that every time that I press it, then it starts automatically a weightlifting workout for me, right? So it'll instantly start a weightlifting or traditional weightlifting workout. That's just how I have it set. You can change it to whatever workout, right? So if you're not a weightlifter, and let's just say you're a runner, you're in track, you're in cross country, you can just press that button, go ahead and start running, knowing that your activity or your workout is being tracked. So similar to that concept, the iPhones are now coming with a action button, right? So it's going to be a separate button. I want to say it's going to be on this side, or who knows where they're going to put it. But it will carry a similar kind of vibe or feel to the action button found on the Apple Watch Ultra. So there's that as well, right? Obviously, we have the obligatory chip upgrade, right? So we're going to have the new, I forget what chip we're on now. I think it's like the A17X or whatever. We should be seeing the A18X or whatever chip they're on. So that just means that like maybe a 10% improvement to just general fluidity, 5% improvement to GPU horsepower. So if you happen to play any intensive games on your iPhone, it's going to be better, less lag, all that jazz, right? They're probably going to introduce some new camera features. Obviously, a lot of you guys, I'm not going to talk about software because that's its own thing. So like obviously Apple has their beta going around right now. And so you can download it for free and try it out. Now, obviously that might mean that it might be coming with some bugs, but hey, you got to take that call, you know? So new camera capabilities, the capture button, bigger battery for the 16 models, the vertical layout, which I don't even know if that's going to be important. But check this out, guys. There's also going to be Wi-Fi 6E and Wi-Fi 7 support. We are on the A18 series chip, so I just confirmed that. And then this is going to be big for the Pro models only. So it seems that the Pro models, so the 16 Pro and the 16 Pro Max are going to be the biggest iPhones to date. So let me read the rumors. This is coming from Mac Rumors, by the way, guys. This is where I'm getting this is where I got this rumor roundup before I started this live. So macrumors.com. They're saying this year's iPhone 16 Pro and iPhone 16 Pro Max are rumored to be getting bigger display sizes, increasing to 6.27 inches on the 16 Pro. Sorry, I just had a delicious salad with some salsa right before the stream. And 6.86 inches, respectively, for the iPhone 16 Pro Max. For comparison, the iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max are equipped with a 6.1 and 6.7. So, the 16 Pro is going to go from a 6.1 inch to a 6.27 inch display. And the Pro Max is going to be enlarged from a 6.7 to a 6.86 inch display. Now, does that sound like a lot? Hell no. That's very negligible. Most people aren't even going to be able to notice a difference. Now, more than likely, they're going to keep the body of the iPhone more or less the same. Now, don't get me wrong. They're probably going to make it like a millimeter or two taller, like 3 or 4 millimeters wider, probably, and mind you, millimeters. So to the average person, like, it's not something that you can be like, oh wow, look at how much bigger this is than this one. Yes, it's going to be bigger, but not by that much. The way that they're going to accomplish that is by being able to enlarge the display and reduce the bezel. So the bezel refers to that border, that black border around your display that doesn't have any pixels. So that's more than likely what Apple's going to do. Now, of course, these are all rumors. As more rumors are going to come out, there's also like 40-watt fast charging and 20-watt MagSafe. Another of the big thing is going to be Apple Intelligence, which again is a software thing, right? So this is going to be on the newest version of iOS rather, sorry. And it's supposed to be Siri on steroids. However, it is only going to be reserved for all of the new iPhone 16 models and the new the 15 Pro and the 15 Pro Max. So it's going to be all of the iPhone 16 family, 16, 16 Plus, 16 Pro, and 16 Pro Max, as well as the 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max. If you have a regular iPhone 15, you do not get Apple Intelligence. And of course, even if you have a 14 Pro Max, 13 Pro Max, iPhone 12, you're not getting Apple Intelligence. For that, you're going to have to upgrade. So, again, there's going to be a lot of things during this upgrade cycle that a lot of people are going to want to know. There's only so much I can say on a live stream. So, with each consecutive live stream, you guys make sure to ask your questions. And as these rumor roundups become a little bit more solidified, then we will have a better idea of what these rumors are actually going to end up being. So let me catch up here with the live chat. Miss History Buff is saying hi, Juan. Hello, Miss History Buff. Nice to see you. Stormy Day, it's such a shame that Google Pixel phones are not more popular because honestly, I like them better than Samsung's. It is a shame. It really is. But it's Google's marketing. I don't know. It's just, it hasn't caught on with people for some reason. Miss History Buff, I'm so sorry for your loss. Thank you so much. I appreciate your kind words. Kayla, I own a foldable phone. I bought it because it was on sale and my Note was on its last leg. Kayla, you're not alone. I want to buy one so bad, but I don't know if I can justify $1,900 because I would not get the flip. I would get the fold. I don't know. I might bite the bullet. Stormy Day, I'm sorry to hear about the loss, Juan. I hope my total sensible battery drain tests make you laugh. They do. Stormy Day, they really do make me chuckle and giggle so much because they're so outlandish, but it's funny. And that's just kind of my type of humor anyway. Like anything tech related, I'll sometimes crack a tech joke and no one really is getting it. And I'm like, okay, I got to go now. So, Gareth, what's up, bro? Thank you so much, bro. So, Gareth also says, sorry for your loss. Nice to see you here, Gareth. I'm not sure, Gareth, if you saw the iPad battery drain test. If you haven't yet, definitely watch it. Stormy Day, honestly, the base iPhone 14 is probably the worst iPhone ever made. That is our best seller at the store, man. The iPhone 14 is what we sell like hotcakes, and mainly it's because it regularly is on sale from $10.99. Sometimes they bring it down all the way to $5.99 per month for 36 months. I always explain the installment agreement because a lot of people think that they can pay $5.99 for 1 month and then they expect to get it for like $6 times 35 months. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. You have to wait the 36 months. And then they get a little feisty, but I'm like, hey, at least I'm telling you now, it would have been worse if you came back later and you try to pull your little shenanigan, and I'm going to be the one to tell you that that's not happening. So I'm just real. Whenever I sell it, I'm going to tell you what you need to know. Fatima, if you are not a YouTuber or work at AT&T, how many years would you wait to upgrade? So if I was not a YouTuber or work at AT&T, how many years would I wait to upgrade? Damn good question, Fatima. I'm just very biased. So like, I mean, I've always upgraded, so I always have that bias. However, if you want me to be logical, and if you want me to tell you guys subjectively what would be a good time to upgrade, I would say about every 3 years. And this comes again from more of a logical perspective, and let me explain. So these phones have something called a lithium-ion battery found inside, right? And so as time progresses and as you use your phone, so more usage means that battery is degrading more and more every time. So the way that these batteries work is that when they're brand spanking new, they're going to hold 100% of their charge. Now try to think about it with this analogy. Imagine if your gas tank, whenever you got your car, imagine if every time you pumped gas, a tiny sliver of your gas tank started to compact. So it started to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, right? To the point where, like, let's say 5 years later, that original full tank of gas can now only hold 75% of gas, which in turn means that now your car it drives less than what it was able to before. Now, obviously, we know that with cars, that doesn't necessarily happen. Performance could degrade over time, but your gas tank size remains the same. Well, with iPhone batteries, even though the battery obviously is never like disintegrating or anything, the voltage inside is holding less and less and less and less of a charge with every time and the more that you use your phone. So after about 3 years, more than likely, if you're just an average user, your battery health, which you can find in your settings now with every modern iPhone, after 3 years, your battery health is going to drop under 70%. And a good benchmark is if you're above 75% of your battery health, you're pretty solid. But if it starts dipping under 75%, then you're going to start to see issues with your phone holding a charge. So you might notice if it gets really bad, let's say your battery health is at like 40 or 50%, you might notice that your phone doesn't even drop to 1%. It cuts off at like 10% or something. Or you'll charge it, and let's say you have 60% battery health, you'll charge it to full, but it barely lasts you half a day. So that is battery degradation. And that is why, if I weren't a YouTuber or work at AT&T, 3 to 4 years is normally the sweet spot, because at that point, your battery is starting to degrade pretty heavily. And you could replace the battery. It would be a cheaper fix, right? Because then in theory, that brings your phone right back to, like, imagine just taking it out of the box, like brand new, by replacing the battery. But now 4 years have passed. So now 4-ish years or 3-ish years have passed. Now there's new features. Now there's better cameras. Now there's better chipsets in phones. So the psychology is, well, instead of replacing the battery, which will cost me anywhere from $50 to $100, let me just either give this to little bro, sell it to someone or whatever, and upgrade myself to the new one. So the answer, 3 to 4 years, probably for most people. But me being a tech head, every year, you already know. Good question, Fatima. I like that one. Stormy Day, yeah, I can't wait for the iPhone 16 versus PowerBook 140, dude. The PowerBook is gonna get obliterated. I was negative 15 in 1991. Damn. So wait, Stormy Day, no way. How were you born in 2006? That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't register for me. Like, what do you mean you were born in 2006? Like, then again, that might make me feel hella old being born in the past millennium century as well. Like, come on, people. Well, no, it's the past. Yeah, the past century and past millennium. That's crazy to say, man. See, in 1991, I was -4. So that means, Stormy, damn, 11 years older than you. Damn, I feel old. Tech for your needs. Hello, folks. Hello, Tech for your needs. I'm so glad that you can make it to the live stream. Yuck, the iPhone 16 series is getting bigger. Yeah, some people feel very indifferent. I don't mind. Again, I don't have massive hands, but I would say that, like, they're above average. I would say that I'm maybe in, like, I don't know, like, I don't even know. I just know that I have larger than average hands. So, like, for me, the larger phones, they're whatever. But I know a lot of people, especially women, hate the larger phones just because, I mean, on average, women have smaller hands. So, anyway. Tech for your needs, shrink the bezel. That's right. That's right. Stormy Day, please make a mini again, Apple. Please. I swear to God, if Apple does not update the mini, which they haven't in 3 years, yeah, I'm going to be pretty upset. This is the perfect size. Now, when I got my mini, I did not get the LTE version. As you can see, you would know if it was the LTE or the cellular version if it had those little strips up here, right? And down here, I believe. So it would have these like, just kind of like colored matched strips that go along the bottom and top. And those are going to be your cellular bands. I'm going to get a cellular equipped iPad because just imagine going downtown pogoing with this, playing Pokemon Go. Like you're at the airport and you're playing Clash of Clans or Clash Royale. This is perfect. Not just for games, but you could read a whole dang book with this thing, right? Like it's like Kindle size. It's palmable. Like it's got a decent camera. If you want to FaceTime, again, just set it down and it's perfect. You get a bigger display. It's like twice of an iPhone, maybe like 1.5x the size of an iPhone Pro Max. It's just perfect, right? Like this is wonderful. Apple, please don't get rid of this. The iPad mini is one of my most beloved Apple products for its compact size. The only thing that mine is missing is the LTE compatibility. So next iPad mini that comes out, I'm getting it hooked up with AT&T. Stormy Day, and make it in S9 purple. Damn, my iPhone 3G is not getting Apple Intelligence. You're Stormy Day. You're silly. Google Pixel phones are getting more popular. NBA is advertising them. Oh, I didn't know that the NBA is advertising them. No, I know that it's only a matter of time. Google phones will, hopefully, pick up some steam. But with the dominance that Google is, I mean, Google is here to stay. So, like, just with time, they're gonna make some kind of feature that's really gonna make people gravitate towards them. Stormy Day, I honestly would just told them just buy a 13 for cheaper. It's pretty much the same phone. I mean, but think about the people that are going from like, say, like a 12 or a 13 to like a 16 Pro Max, though. Like, there's a lot of people that jump from the regular series because a lot of the times, like, some of these people will come with their families and they might be 16, 17, 18, 19, around that age range where they can't necessarily finance it on their own. So once they reach to like their early 20s, mid 20s, most often than not, these individuals will go like on their own plans. And then at that point, they more than likely have a job and they can get whatever phone that they want. So I've seen it happening a lot. Obviously, I sell phones for a living and internet. But, yeah, that's what I see. And that battery fact is unfortunately true for all electric cars. Yes, I can imagine. E-waste is about to get much worse. Exactly. So it's the same thing with electric cars, guys. So you got to be careful. Tech for your needs. If you don't want to buy a new every 3 to 4 years, just replace the battery. If you are the type of person that just needs a phone to work. Exactly. A lot of people are going to be enticed to upgrade. Go ahead and upgrade because of the new features. But if you're someone who just flat out doesn't care, you don't like change all too much, you want to stick with all reliable, just change your battery. I want to say that Apple changes it for like $49 depending on the model, sometimes $99. But it's going to be a way cheaper route of getting performance back onto your phone without having to spend another $1,000 plus on a brand new device. So just little tricks here and there. Tech for your needs. My sister kept her iPhone 8 Plus for 8 years and it died. Damn, 8 years. She's not a tech person and can care less. She bought the iPhone 15. Dude, for your sister to go from an 8 Plus to an iPhone 15, that's a big jump. Shout out to your sister for not caring about tech. That would drive me nuts. I could not. I mean, let's just say hypothetically, right? I am very thankful to have what I have, so I don't want the wrong idea to get put out there. I am very thankful for where I am and that I can afford, tech, and I'm a tech head, so I'm going to spend my money on tech. Some people spend money on clothes. Some people spend money on other things, right? And so for me, I'm just thankful. But if I were to work with like an iPhone XS, oh, heck no, I could not. I would save every dollar that I could to upgrade that thing. But then again, I just have a tech brain, so I'm just a tech head. Stormy Day, the iPhone SE should be the next iPhone mini. Agreed. I don't know where my SE is. I actually found it in my drawer the other day, and I'm like, this is where my iPhone SE went. So I forget that I have an iPhone SE. Kind of crazy. Every Apple Pencil battery drain test, that's actually not a bad idea. Because, dude, wait, hold on. Stormy Day. Remind me tomorrow about Apple Pencil battery drain test idea at 8 a.m. Apple Pencil battery drain test idea. Perfect. Okay. That's actually not a bad thing. That's not a bad idea. However, if I were to do that, I would need a helper because I would need someone, I would have 2 pencils unless, I'm not that flexible. I can't even do it. Unless one Apple Pencil on one of my feet, another Apple Pencil over here. But how would I record that? That's just weird. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to get a helper. That's not a bad idea because there's 4 Apple Pencils. And, okay, let me just think. Is this going to work? Because the OG Apple Pencil works. It's not even being sold anymore, though, is it? It's not. No, so there's 4 Apple Pencils, though, on the lineup right now, right? It's the Apple Pencil Pro. Hold on. The Apple Pencil 2, the Apple Pencil for the iPad 10th gen, the USB-C one. There's a 4th one. Now, obviously, it might be the original Apple Pencil one, but no, because they don't sell it anymore. Because the 9th gen is now gone. Hold on. I got to look at something because now I'm curious. Okay, I stand corrected. They still do sell it. So the Apple Pencil Pro, the Apple Pencil 2nd gen, the Apple Pencil USB-C, and then the Apple Pencil 1st generation. So actually, that might be a good video idea. It's one of those silly things where like iPad users would definitely love to watch the video. But for anyone else who doesn't have an iPad, it's just one of those silly battery drain tests that's like, actually, which one does have the most battery? So Stormy Day, that next battery drain test might be dedicated to you. So thank you. That's actually a really good idea. Where was I? I was talking about the iPhone 14. Oh, I was talking about the iPhone 14. Oh, I get you. iPhone SE2 versus iRobot. What is that? You're funny. Kayla, I agree the mini is the best iPad hands down. I have the purple LTE version, and it's a lifesaver for me because I use it work-wise and recreational use as well. Exactly. It's so versatile. Like, okay, I can imagine someone with this in all kinds of scenarios. Let's say you're a businessman, or let's just say you work at a bank or whatever, and you have a presentation. You got your notes right here, right there. You're presenting right here, palmable, right? It's like the size of a book, small book, notes. Okay, let's say you're a student. You get the Apple Pencil for it. It attaches magnetically, gets you a nice little case or keyboard or whatever. I happen to have the official folio, so the folio is really nice, right? It's not a keyboard, but it allows me to lay it down like that, and then I can type, right, to get some kind of angle on it. Students love this, right? Easy to put in a bag or a purse, right? Or even you can buy one of those really, really expensive note apps that cost like 50, 60 bucks, but they're really good and keep all of your shit organized and whatnot. Oop, first cuss word of the live stream. Sorry about that. But you can just literally kind of just walk with it like, just like that. Walk, and it's so light too. Let's see, someone like me as well. Let's say inspiration strikes and I'm downtown. I'm trying to enjoy a beer by myself, and I take this with me. I'm on Microsoft Word, inspiration strikes, I'm over there enjoying a brew, I'm over there typing away. Wonderful. Then let's just say that right by downtown, I want to play some Pokemon. Bigger screen. Hello. bigger screen right here. This is the best kind of experience. I agree with everyone here on this live stream. I love the Mini. It's absolutely wonderful. It's a terrific product, and Apple, if you don't upgrade it. All right, let's see. I may have to cut this live stream. I love that I've been on here for 45 minutes, and it seems like I've only been on here for 5. You guys just, I love these live streams. I look forward to them so much. I'm basically using an iPhone 8, but with an iPhone 13 processor, A15. Wait, are you? Just buy 4 drawing robots, problem solved. Honestly, the USB-C Apple Pencil and the price reduction of the iPad 10 saved the iPad 10. I do think so. It used to be a lot more expensive, right? It used to be like, what, 500? But now since it got reduced, saved. Tech for your needs. If you drain the battery of the Apple Pencil and don't charge it for a while, it will die. It has happened to my friends for not using the Apple Pencil for 1 month or more, just letting you know. No, this has happened to me, and I forget the fix. It happened to me in college one time where like I found it, and yes, like you said, it had been like a month and a half. I had to switch to like paper and pen for a while, and then I found it, and it would get stuck on 4%. So it would say that it was charging to 4%, but it would never actually turn on. I forgot what I had to do, but there's a workaround around that, and it worked for me. So I just have to remember, I probably, like, you just had to remove it from your iCloud account, like go to iCloud.com and forget that device. And then I think what that does is it reset it. I forget, but I have heard about that, tech for your needs. Stormy Day, Mihao has a Logitech crayon. Oh, nice. You should ask Vicente to help you with the Apple Pencil test. I might have to. He's not here right now, but he's probably going to be my helper for that. That's actually a really good idea. The iPad, and by extension, because they came out at the same time, the iPad 9 are the last classic iPads. Yep. Last ones, dude. Do you remember like the iPad 4, the iPad 3, back when it went from like 30 pin to like Lightning? And then do you remember, was it the iPad 4 or 5 that the marketing behind it was so strange? It was the new iPad. It wasn't like, hey bro, did you get that the new iPad? And it's just like, oh, you mean the iPad 3? Nah bro, the new one. And it'd be like, wait, this one is still kind of new. Like, it was just confusing, but they used to call it the new iPad, which was just weird marketing. But yes, that is, you know, it followed all the way. I mean, think about it. We're on the 10th generation now, so that is the last legacy iPad. I don't know if they're going to update it to the 11th gen. I don't think so, if you want me to be honest. I think they're trying to push it out with a mini refresh, and then the Air 11-inch is going to probably get a price reduction of $50 to $100, and then I can see the legacy iPad lineup being just removed entirely. Stormy Day, I got the official smart cover for my iPad 9. I got it brand new for $20 on eBay, and they're usually $50 before they discontinue them. I got it in lavender, and it looks so good with my space gray iPad 9. iPod Touch 2nd generation versus Samsung. Dude, you're so... Samsung Galaxy Watch Ultra battery drain test. That one I have to give to the Ultra. So, wow. Stormy Day and everyone else, tech for your needs. Let me give everyone a shout out. Fatima, thank you for your kind words. Kayla also for making the live chat, very interactive and asking questions. Love you guys. Stormy Day. Gareth as well. Miss History Buff. Bad Dobani. We also had Alex Yeager here at the very beginning. Stormy Day. Slow DRV. And anyone else who couldn't make it to the live stream. I do see all the hearts also coming through, and I know specifically someone who's always hitting them hearts, and so you already know, heart right back. So thank you so much, everyone, for all the support. Kayla says attach it to different iPads, it instantly charges. And then finally, tech for your needs. The iPad is my all-time favorite tech device. I'm typing this on my iPad with the Magic Keyboard. iPads are just phenomenal. I mean, there's a reason why I hold on to my iPads for so long. I just love them. Tablets are just so nice. It's great for like what I like to do, scripting my videos, playing Pokemon Go, and all this and that. But guys, I think it's about time for me to call it a night. It has been a very, very long weekend. Oh, look here at the very end, Aaron saying made it. Aaron, man, I was just about to cut the live stream, but I wanted to give you one last shout out letting you know that I'm thankful that you made it. Guys, stay tuned because as you guys saw, I didn't get a lot of time to talk about it, but I did order the new Samsung Galaxy Ring. So I ordered it in gold. I was in between the black one or the gold one. And because I have an Ultra, this should allow me to be able to get just a better look at my health and all of that kind of stuff, right? So that'll be a very interesting review. And by the way, going forward, I think just for time's sake and to help me edit and just produce these videos faster, is I'm going to start recording my reviews 60% like this, right? So I'm going to be right in front of the camera like a lot of YouTubers do, and then introduce about 40% of B-roll here and there. So whenever there's a certain feature that I'm talking about, then I'm going to, you know, fade away into like the actual B-roll of me using it. Oop. Sorry guys, I keep having these hiccups and burping a lot. But with that being said, yes, Galaxy Ring. And something I wanted to mention about the Galaxy Ring that I think is really cool, they have a sizing guide. And so if you order it now, they'll send you a sizing guide first, right? So if you order it directly from Samsung.com, they won't charge you for their sizing guide. So you receive the sizing guide, you put on, it's supposed to go on your index finger, obviously not on your ring finger. Come on, people. You're going to put it on your index finger. And then you let them know through online, like you go ahead and confirm your size. And then afterwards, they send you your ring. So it's very cool. Obviously, you got to learn your size because everyone has, you know, different size hands. But I'm really excited about that review. I believe that's going to be my next review coming up. While in the meantime, I'm also going to work on another battery drain test, which is the Samsung Galaxy battery drain test. So that one I did pre-record already, and it is the next one that I'm going to work on. It's not going to take as long as this past one. Give me guys about, you know, a week's time, maybe, you know, yeah, probably about a week. I think I can definitely get it done if life doesn't life again, which it shouldn't. But yeah, so that's coming up next. So everyone, thank you so much for being part of the live stream, and thank you to everyone who made my night by dropping your deepest condolences. Once again, rest in peace to my lovely grandfather who is now resting in heaven. So guys, again, very interactive live stream. I absolutely look forward to these so much. I want to thank everyone who made it, especially those who reached out and let me know that they, you know, wanted to drop their condolences for me. So, still kind of sad, not gonna lie, but hey, we gotta keep going. You know, there's no other way but forward, right? So tomorrow's a new day. It's a new week for new opportunities. Think about it that way. I know a lot of people dread Mondays, but it is a brand new week. Let's be happy that we can get up, go outside, breathe some fresh air. Like I always say, we're thankfully we're not in a jail cell, we're not in a hospital, and we're not underneath ground atop a gravestone. So we're already winning, right? So with that, I'm going to end it, guys. Thank you all again for the like tremendous support you guys always pour onto my channel. It means the world to me. And with that, make sure to stay hydrated. Don't forget, summer's almost over, but that does not mean that you should stop drinking your water. So make sure you do. And with that, I'm out. I'm clocking out for now. I'll catch you on the next one. I really do need to get me an LTE Mini, though. Like, for real.